Welcome back. Continuing coverage of the big IPL cleanup. Let's go straight across to Justice Mudgal, who had delivered the original report in the spot fixing case. He's speaking out on the Lodha report that has banned Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals for 2 years.
It is exemplary and it's strong, and it sends a very strong message to people who indulge in unwholesome and corrupt practices. According to me, this will go a long way in making cricket a cleaner game, and public will have more faith in IPL now. Rather than thinking that IPL will be finished, it will have a temporary setback, but it will come out cleaner. The people's faith in IPL will be restored. हिंदी में देखिए, ये जो पनिशमेंट दी गई है, ये बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग पनिशमेंट है और इसका बहुत अच्छा
Yeah, let's meanwhile go straight to our correspondent who's also just earlier spoken to Justice Mudgal. Listen into what Justice Mudgal had to tell her.
काम किया वो हमारी कंपनी ने किया, उसके बाद उसके ऊपर क्या पनिशमेंट होगी, मेरे को उससे कोई खुशी या गम नहीं। किस तरह से देखते हैं? मैं समझता हूँ कि ये पनिशमेंट जो दी गई है, जो ऑर्डर पास किया गया है, इससे बहुत एग्जेम्पलरी ऑर्डर है। इससे काफी क्रिकेट की गेम में गड़बड़ करने वालों को डर लगेगा।
लेकिन क्रिकेट का नुकसान भी होगा, टीम दोनों बैन नहीं, आपको लगता है?
देखिए, नुकसान जो होगा टेम्परेरी होगा अगर हुआ तो, क्योंकि क्रिकेट की गेम 2 टीमों से बड़ी है और क्रिकेट की गेम में देश के नागरिकों का फेथ बढ़ जाएगा।
कहीं ना कहीं से ओनर्स एक जुगाड़ निकाल ही लेते हैं, जिस तरह से भारतीय
जब तक उन्होंने जुगाड़ निकाला नहीं,
आपको लगता है कि
देखिए अभी तक कोई जुगाड़ हुआ नहीं, तो मैं एडवांस में कैसे बोल सकता हूँ?
आखिरी सवाल, प्लेयर्स के कितने नाम आए थे? 13 लोगों के अपने नाम।
सॉरी, जो चीज खबर है उसके बारे में एक भी शब्द नहीं कहूँगा।
चलिए, आज तक से बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। कैमरा पर्सन प्रेमचंद मिश्रा, ऋतिक शर्मा, दिल्ली आज तक।
Okay, so there you have Justice Mudgal again supporting, saying this is a firm verdict which has been set out. It sends a very strong signal. Our reporters have spread out. We are trying to get political reactions as well. Remember, number of politicians are linked to the BCCI. So reactions expected now thick and fast, but most people coming out in support of the verdict, saying this has sent out a strong message to Indian cricket at a time when cricket's credibility was under crisis. Just to get a sense as to what the BCCI, Kunal, will now do, because you've got a new BCCI in charge. This is not Srinivasan's BCCI. This is Jagmohan Dalmia's, or many believe Anurag Thakur's BCCI. Now, given that, do you believe that they will see this as an opportunity, A, to virtually end the Srinivasan reign, whatever remained of it, in international cricket as well? Or will they strike a deal that Srinivasan can continue till July as ICC president, but now can have nothing to do with the IPL and indeed should give up the ownership of Chennai Super Kings and allow a new owner to take over?
No, Rajiv, I think they're going to go for the former. I think it's in the BCCI's interest to not have Srinivasan involved, because Srinivasan is a person who in the past has been able to rally numbers.
Right.
He still has control over the Tamil Nadu Cricket Association.
Right.
And I think, powers like Mr. Mutaiya in Tamil Nadu and others around the clubs in Madras are now there is going to be a movement to try and uproot Srinivasan entirely from cricket.
Can I just bring Suresh Menon of Wisdom India in on that? Suresh, do you believe it's the end of the road for Mr. Srinivasan, given the fact that this legal fiction that he was trying to create, that at the end of the day, Gurunath Meiyappan was a cricket fan, not a principal, has been rejected. The fact that India Cements was at arm's length in a sense from this entire controversy has been rejected. Is it the end of the road for Mr. Srinivasan in terms of any involvement with Indian cricket?
Well, given Mr. Srinivasan's track record, it's a little difficult to say these things in black and white. Because Mr. Srinivasan has gone out of very tough scrapes before, and the BCCI is a wonderful body which is compromising all the time. So if it is to somebody's benefit that he stays on in BCCI, or he works out a compromise formula, he will definitely stay on, because that's what the BCCI has been about all this time. But in a sort of a dispassionate, if you look at it dispassionately, you could say that this might be the end of Mr. Srinivasan, because he will be out of the BCCI, and by extension possibly out of the ICC.
Right.
But he could still be a sorry.
No, I just wanted to get a sense about, do you believe that he could still play some role? Please complete, sorry.
No, I was saying given his track record, it might be a little too early to write him off at this stage.
It might be a little too early to write him off, but IPL brand itself, do you believe, Nikhil, the brand IPL suffers? Let's be honest, a lot of the IPL has ridden on the brand and the public support. Do you believe as a result of what has happened, actually public support for the IPL will now increase because people will say, you know, the rot has been cleaned. You know, the cleanup has taken place, now we have full confidence in it. Or will there be others who will say, you know, maybe just 2 teams, are there others also involved in this? How does this affect the brand IPL in any way, if at all it does?
Well, I guess with the brand IPL, you know, coming down to 6 teams, if the ownership changes, the technical issue, you bring back to 8, at least a step in the right direction has been taken, that some sort of justice has been proven in terms of franchisee owners who were involved in malpractices were taken to task. I still don't believe that suspension was good enough. Maybe the amount of money that is given to them from the television rights because of the malpractice, some sort of financial suspension should have taken place.
You believe there should have been a financial punishment as well, not just 2-year suspension, which should have operated retrospectively. You mean 100 crores for 200 crores?
You make 60 crores a year with the 2 teams getting docked, with the players, you know, technically not being allowed to play, with people continue saying that they won't be allowed to support cricket or they're not allowed to work. It's not going to affect them. What is affecting them? Even with the players who are the court cases going on with Srishant, Ajit Chandela and some of the other players, they're bread and butter. Because they were involved in some sort of malpractices, they're in the dock, there's been suspended from their jobs, whatever they were, no money is being given to them. That is affected them.
Can I just bring in Boria on this? Boria,
there's got to be some sort of deterrent as well.
You know, Boria, the financial model of the IPL, as you said, now 6 teams. If there are 6 teams alone, obviously the other franchises will find it will hurt their pockets. Now, how does the BCCI overcome that? Does the IPL brand actually get affected? Or do you believe the IPL brand is now so powerful that all that has happened today is that a certain amount of accountability has been ensured?
No. IPL brand will surely get affected. I mean, look, if anybody who knows BCCI and IPL well and follows this can tell you the BCCI is not in the best financial shape over the last couple of years. I mean, IPL teams, the grassroots, it takes about 50-60 crores to run a franchise. I mean, 100 crores over a period of time, 1 year. You know, you get 60 crores from the board, and that is what helps you to subsidize. Where does that come from? Television revenue, because of 8 teams. Now, if there are not 8 teams, there are 6 teams, means 50 matches. 50 matches means you will not get that money. So it is not that powerful, Rajdeep. Make no mistake about it at all.
I changed the number of matches. Hold on, Boria. Let's say there's a 6-team IPL. We increase the number. Each team plays each other 4 times. Instead of playing each other 2 times. Look, the BCCI can find imaginative ways to keep this tournament. Let's be clear. The IPL is the biggest brand in international cricket. Is that brand going to be hit as a result of today? Are players going to stop coming? Are the fans going to stop coming? Are the sponsors going to stop coming?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so that the players will stop or the sponsors will stop. I don't think so.
That's right.
There are 2. Let me answer one question that Nikhil asked. Just one quickly. He said players bread and butter. Either way, players will not lose out. Why? Because if India Cements and Jaipur do not want to sell out and wait for 2 years and ride the suspension, they'll have to pay the players. 2, if they do sell out and there is a fresh auction, players will not suffer. So either way, I can tell you clearly, the BCCI will ensure players don't suffer. But can the BCCI do round robin and ensure IPL brand doesn't suffer? I think IPL brand has been dented. I think the financial model has been dented. I can tell you there were only 2 buyers for Vijay Mallya's team and Delhi Daredevils. If you are in the know, you will know that. So there are not many buyers willing to pay 50, 60, 70 million dollars.
Okay.
So in that sense, the financial model of the IPL is not as robust to absorb this shock.
Yes.
No, Rajdeep, see, I think the key point right now is, are we going to try to, should we look at it from a point of view of, should we save the IPL or should we fix the IPL? See, you may be able to save the IPL, that is fine. But I think this, of all things, indicates not that the rot has gone, it indicates that the entire IPL system is rotten. It was created in a manner that was rotten. It was built on conflicts of interest. It was built on financial misappropriations. One creator of the IPL is right now sitting as in exile in another country. Another person who took over the IPL from him is right now, his team has today been suspended. You know, the IPL entire edifice is rotten, and I think how we should look at it and how the Lodha committee should look at it going forward when they give their suggestions on how BCCI should be run is not from the point of view of how the IPL can be saved, in terms of getting people money for 1 year or 2 years, but how it can be fixed.
I think that's very well put, because I think at the end of the day, so long as the IPL remains a subcommittee of the BCCI, yes, we are going to have the problem that we are going to have conflicts of interest. We are going to have issues where the BCCI will be accused of favoritism or running a non-transparent system, because Vinay, you've got a situation today where Rajiv Shukla, who's the chief commissioner of the IPL, has disappeared, doesn't want to appear in front of camera. Where is the accountability? Where is the transparency? So unless the Lodha committee takes the next step, which is restructuring the BCCI and along with it the IPL, I think Kunal makes a fine point. They seem to be saving the IPL rather than fixing it.
Three things, Rajdeep. One, to add to Kunal's point, the financial problems of the BCCI and IPL will get worse because next year, remember, the Setmax's 9-year television deal comes to an end.
Yes.
The broadcast rights were only for 9 years. So 2016, there will be a fresh bidding for TV rights. And TV rights proceeds are the biggest source of revenue for all franchisees. So there is going to be a valuation hit there, number one. Number two, it's all going to be about politics and economics from here on, because with politicians ruling BCCI, trust me, they will find some way or the other to ensure that their bank balance and coffers are not affected, and we will see another round. I also suspect that this matter will go back to the court for clarification, because this is not so simple where you will allow two franchises to wither away and not have a tournament where the money is the biggest leveler in India, and ultimately a lot of enemies may come together to figure out some way of getting out of this mess.
Okay, let's take a break at this point, because clearly I think that is going to be one of our themes. Has the IPL been saved rather than being fixed? Who's going to fix the IPL? Is the IPL's problem only limited to Gurunath, Meiyappan and Raj Kundra, or is there a larger problem in the way this IPL has been structured? Whereas Kunal rightly put it, its original founder is in exile in London, and the man who took over from him has found his team banned today. Something is clearly rotten in the state of the BCCI and IPL. Is the Justice Lodha committee going to fix that, or simply going to save the IPL? Back in a moment. Remember, if you want to join the debate, just tweet us with a hashtag IPL Cleanup. Welcome back. Continuing coverage of the IPL Cleanup, the historic verdict in a way that has been passed by Justice Lodha. Landmark verdict is the best way to put it because he has suspended 2 IPL franchises because their owners were found to be engaged in betting during the IPL. So very strict application of the anti-corruption code of the IPL. Along with that, of course, we have a situation where both those owners, Raj Kundra on your screen at the moment of Rajasthan Royals, Gurunath Meiyappan of CSK, both have been banned for life from all cricketing activities. So banned for life, the owners, suspended for 2 years, the 2 franchises. Clearly a strong message being sent, but is it enough? Has the IPL simply been saved, or can it be fixed? I think that's a good way to look at the debate now, because that really will tell us whether the Lodha report will truly dramatically affect the way Indian cricket is run, because conflicts of interest abound at every level in Indian cricket. And Boria Majumdar, I think that is the question that many will ask. What will happen to those conflicts of interest? The fact is that it was not just Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, but virtually every IPL team faces some scrutiny or the other. Some are being questioned by the enforcement directorate. Others, the owners want to now leave their franchisees because they are finding it too hot under the collar. So barring 1 or 2 franchisees, most of them are under some scrutiny or the other.
Absolutely correct. And that's what I've been saying, that it will change. You know, Kunal made the point about Lalit sitting in London and Srinivasan's team gone. Let's add to it. Sundar Raman is being investigated. What will happen to the CEO who runs it on the ground? That is coming up. What will happen to the board? And I can assure you, having spoken to Justice Lodha at the committee at length, that they are taking a real deep view of the way the BCCI is running. So a massive blow is in the offing for the board as well, not only for the franchises. So it's not only about the IPL. It is about the BCCI and it's about Indian cricket. Can you save Indian cricket and the BCCI? Can you fix the BCCI alongside the IPL? It is not going to be restricted to the IPL, I can assure you that. Coming to the question of fixing or saving, it's related. If you fix it, only then can you save it. Because the rot was so deep that people's faith would have been eroded. I mean, if you see the Twitter messages before you started the show, before the verdict, people were very sarcastic. And now look, everybody has been taken by surprise. I think that is saving and fixing at the same time.
Right. Can I?
But what happens to Mr. Srinivasan, Rajdeep? What happens to Mr. Srinivasan's future as the president of the ICC? Kunal made a point to that. I can tell you that the days are numbered, because the BCCI, and knowing the politics of the BCCI, nobody, no individual will now want to sort of go hand in glove and save Mr. Srinivasan.
Suresh Menon, do you get a sense that this is only Act 1, Scene 1 that we've seen today? Because this committee also has to look into the role of Sundararaman, who is the CEO. It also has to look into the larger question of restructuring the BCCI. Is this simply Act 1, Scene 1 that Justice Lodha and his committee have enacted today?
Well, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope this is the Act 1, Scene 1, because there is a long way to go yet. In fact, I personally would have been happier if the Commission had decided to terminate the two teams rather than merely suspend them, because very soon it will be all, life will go on as normal, and they would not have made the point they could have. We made the same mistake 10 or 15 years ago, when an Indian captain was caught for spot fixing. We didn't bring in any laws to directly hold the crooks responsible for fixing. We had no laws about betting. We had no laws about handling this whole sporting, the danger to Indian cricket. Right. And it's 15 years that have gone by, and we are still regurgitating the old platitudes over and over again.
I think you
so the point is that now that they have made a point.
Yes, go ahead.
Now that the Justice Lodha Commission has made a point, I think they should take it on forward and not think that just the 2-year suspension here is the end of the matter. They'll certainly come back and tell us about how the board should be run, right, which is a good thing. But having established that, there's a danger here. Having established that, I would like to see them then move out and not act as a super BCCI, because that could lead to further problems, because then we get the politicians in, and you know what happens in Indian sport when politicians get in, it'll ultimately be A party versus B party, and there's going to be a whole other mess.
I need to stop you for a moment, Suresh. One of the BCCI senior most officials, someone who's been the BCCI for decades, Niranjan Shah of the Saurashtra Cricket Association, joins us, formerly Vice President of the BCCI. Mr. Shah, your first reactions, how do you respond to what has been done by the Lodha committee, sir?
I think whatever they feel right, they have given a decision, and it was within our rules and regulations. They have given fearless decision, and BCCI has to abide whatever their decision is.
No, but they have suspended these teams. What happens next to these two franchises? Do you believe that there should be fresh owners who should be allowed? Should both CSK and Rajasthan Royals give up their franchises? Should there be fresh owners?
I think as a personal, if you see my personal opinion, yes, you cannot play with 6 teams, 8 team has to be there, and board has enough time. The board must now look into tendering for the next 2 teams, where this player can be also.
What if Mr. Srinivasan refuses to give up the Chennai franchise? What if Mr. Srinivasan says, no, I'm not giving up the Chennai franchise?
See, whether he refused to for the Chennai franchise, it has nothing to do. It is after 2 years. Question is after 2 years. CSK has been suspended for 2 years. So it is now a matter of 16, 18, IPL 18. At that time we will look. But meanwhile, we have to have a new 2 team.
You want a new 2 team. Achha, so the other option, which is an interesting option, is that the CSK, that you actually bring in 2 fresh teams. I think you've given us the first sign of how the BCCI works. That 2 teams suspended, let's bring in 2 more. After 2 years, you can have a 10-member team where Chennai and Rajasthan join again. Niranjan Shah, now I know why you've been in the BCCI for so many years. You know how the interstices of the BCCI works. But I appreciate your joining us at the moment. Are you still with us on the line, sir?
Yeah.
Well, do you believe that Mr. Srinivasan should now give up his ICC presidentship?
That's right. Board has already given him up to this September. Let us meet in the next September. We'll see what we have to do.
But in your view, after this verdict, do you believe his position has become untenable? Do you believe that he should step down as ICC president?
I think ICC should be only represented by the office present office bearers.
So therefore you are saying, you are being very clear, you are saying only office bearers. Mr. Srinivasan is not an office bearer now. You are therefore saying Mr. Srinivasan should step down as ICC president. That's the clearest I am getting from a BCCI member at the moment. First reaction, Mr. Niranjan Shah, Mr. Srinivasan should step down as ICC president.
Yeah, it is up to him.
No, you said, sir, you said ICC president should only be an office bearer.
Opinion. That's I am as my personal opinion. Right. I have worked since 30-40 years in the board and always board officials, president and secretary has attended the represented the ICC.
So in September, come September, Mr. Srinivasan, you believe should gracefully step aside?
It's up to him.